All right. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Today, Debbie and I are going to go over why agents succeed, or some ideas why. One of the questions or come up in conversation, especially with newer agents, or after a few years, Debbie and I get these coaching calls and talk to people, and the agents say, why are they succeeding and I'm not? So without even going through some of the slides, is they're doing something and we're not doing as much. It's almost as simple as that. But we're going to go over some slides and go over some ideas. But bottom line is is schedule time with Debbie or myself, and we'll brainstorm on things that you could do. I like to say, brainstorm on things that you can do that you're already kind of doing in your life, and talking to people and socializing and networking with people, and into the things that are easiest for you or not as painful for you. Because if you try to, what works for some agents, other agents is extremely painful, and they can do it over a long period of time. Same with you. You might be do things that could bring you business, but other agents would hate doing that because they just don't like those whatever activities they are. So what I mean by that is we could customize it to try to get you out there and get involved in things. So but we'll start here. Let's go here. Let's say share screen. Let's do this. And there we are. So why agents succeed, why they have that I don't have. What do they have that I don't have? So I'll let you start, Deb. Go ahead.
So everybody needs to remember that on the same day we pass our test, we're all the same, right? We're all baby agents. It's not that someone passes their test and then they get handed a golden ruler that allows them to do things that we're not. It's exactly what Tony said. They're doing things that you're not doing. Now, it could be as simple as you're at a brokerage that doesn't help you, or doesn't give you tools to work with and stuff. And there are brokerages out there. And if you feel like you're not in the right fit, you can always give us a call. We're happy to talk to you about Homestar and what we do for people. But as far as our agents are, this is a little bit of tough love here, but I'm also going to give you a little bit of suggestions and stuff. They succeed because they're doing. You cannot be passive. If you're passive, you're not going to go anywhere. It's not like you walk in, you sit at your desk and the phone rings 24/7 with people that are calling you. If they don't know who you are, they can't call you, right? So they're getting business because they're doing. So we're going to talk about that.
And I'll give you a very good example is just myself. Sometimes I talk to agents like, oh my gosh, you've been in the business 30 years and you're always on Facebook and you're always doing these things, and you must get a ton of business every year, people calling me. Because sometimes agents call me like, what do you do with your leads, Tony? Who do you give them to?
Yeah.
Why don't you give them to me? Because they think that I have a lot of business. I don't. I have very, very little business. Friends, relatives, people don't call me as much as they used to years ago, because I don't ask for business. They think I'm in another business, which I am. My business is helping you and helping our agents' business. I'm not on the phone calling my sphere of people saying, do you want to sell? Do you all the things we're telling you I'm not doing. So why I use myself as a good example is you just can't sit in this business for 30 years and think you're going to get more business 30 years from now without asking for the business, continually to remind people you're in the business by phone, not just Facebook, because I have all my friends and relatives and people I know on my Facebook and see my videos every day, and say, but no one, a handful of people call every year, not enough for me to be a successful agent anymore without me doing the actual things that we tell you to do. Yep. So just sitting back is not going to work. And I know that for a fact, because that's what I'm just telling you with myself. So, but go ahead, next.
Okay. So this is why. because they understand they're in the lead generation business. Okay, that is the business that we're in. A successful agent works 85% lead generation and 15% technical knowledge. So yeah, you got to have knowledge, you got to know your contracts, you got to know your steps on what you're supposed to do, but 85% of your time should be spent on lead generation, talking to people, getting out there, sending things, keeping up with it over and over and over again. That's lead generation. Because
Yep.
don't forget, they're not going, very rarely are you going to have someone who jumps off the fence the minute you speak to them.
Yeah, and so 85% of doing income generating activities. I like to say it that way. And I would say at least once or twice a week, at least once. I'm talking agents out of giving up their other jobs. Not directly. I don't say don't give up your other job. A lot of agents, they have a little bit of success. I get at least one call a week, a coaching call, say, hey, Tony, I think about doing this full time. I go, well, what do you do? I work, here let's just say 9 to 5, work 8 hours a day. Great. So when I give up my job, what should I do? I go, okay, well, if you have 8 hours now free every day, you're going to be on the phone for 4 to 5 hours a day making calls. So you're going to get you're going to make about 120 to 150 calls a day. But then you're going to get in your car and you're going to drive around. And then at night, if you're not showing houses, you're going to go to the community center at in your community or your city, and you're going to get involved in network of time. And then someone goes, well, that's a lot of work. I'm like, well, that's what you have to do to be successful in real estate. If you don't have another job, we're going to fill up that time with income generating activities. You're not going to sit around. You're either going to be on the phone, dialing, calling, or driving or going somewhere for 8 hours. Do you want that job? And guess what? At the end of the day, you're not going to get a paycheck. You're going to do this. You're in hopes that it's going to equal business next month and month after in the future. And then after about 2 weeks, you're going to go, I worked, 80 hours of income and there's no paycheck coming in yet because it's going to come later on that. And that's why when I explain that to agents, sometimes I talk them out of that. I know, well, let me get back to you, Tony. We'll have another coaching call soon, and then I don't hear from them again after that. So that's what income generating activities are what you need to do. So go ahead, Deb. I'm sorry about. Just wanted to have that thought on my mind.
That is absolutely perfect. I love the way that you said that, because that is what we're talking about. Everything that you just said is exactly what we're talking about. I also don't encourage people to quit their job, because they don't get the fact that even if you did get someone who jumped off the fence today, it's still going to take probably 30 days at least before you get a paycheck. So, you have to remember all that stuff. Are we telling you this because we want you to get out because it's not good? No, we're just giving you the real deal on how it works. Okay. Well, so you can prepare.
Right. And also is just preparing financially. So many times that, I started the office 25 years ago. I have so many agents over the years that used to be in the business and are not in the business anymore. And they used to be great agents, but they made the jump too early. They were great agents when they were doing this with alongside of another job, and then they tried to do it full time and couldn't make it financially, then got out of the business completely because after a few months or a year they just couldn't do anymore, and they had to go get another full-time job, and just got out, just didn't work out because they just went up and down different things. So that's what I tell you, because I want our agents, we only make money if you make money. So I want you to sell as many houses as you can or want to, but I want you to be happy and not be stressed and stay in it. I'd rather have, an agent that sells 3, 4, 5 houses a year with another job and stay in it for a lifetime than someone that's going to be up and down and stressed out and really, trying to support their family on real estate a little bit too soon, if that makes sense. So
yes, absolutely.
All right, go ahead. Next
So
slide here.
now we're going to talk about leads, because that's the other question that we get 24/7 is why won't you give me any leads? I need leads. Where can I get leads? Should I buy leads? Should I answer these text messages that are coming to me from these places that are saying, hey, we have leads? First of all, most of those are bogus, so don't do those. But let's talk about what a lead is. So when you have a referred lead, that is someone that you know in your sphere of influence has told someone that they know about you. And so that's where you come in, right? So that's the picture. It's family, friends, associates from work, people from your kids' school. Any of those people are your sphere, and they're endorsed by someone else that you know. So the loyalty is there. And the likeliness that they're going to refer you to someone else after you do the transaction is way higher, because there is a personal connection there. Now, you can get these personal connections from strangers. The more that you talk to them, the more that you send them information, the more that you become that person of value in their life about real estate. That's how you build those relationships and build your sphere off of people who are strangers. But the cold lead, and I'm got realtor.com on here because that's a cold lead, right? That is someone who's coming from the internet who clicks on something that you don't know and you never knew. Not saying that's a bad one, because we do have people who do transform those into good deals sometimes. And if you're Ian Jones, you transfer them into fantastic deals, right? But sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, but there's no trust there from that person. There's no relationship. They're not even going to remember your name if you are not constantly connected to them and showing the value of why you should be working with them.
Right.
Agree?
Yep, I agree with you 100%. But the great thing about realtor.com and Zillow is that everybody could be on the same playing field just about how much money you want to spend.
Yep.
So when agents go, hey, I want to get some leads from realtor.com and Zillow, great, go ahead. Call them up, find out what zip codes are available, what's available to you. You could call, you'll get all the leads directly. And just to let you know, Zillow and realtor.com, and I explain this to agents almost on a daily basis when they're asking about leads, is they don't let us as an office get into to buy their leads as an office. We can't get in because they know that they can make more money on agents individually buying. So agents, agent teams are going on them. It's as that, that's not why. That's why Century 21 as a brand doesn't buy into realtor.com or Zillow, because we can't. They won't allow it. There's no brand or big company that could say we're going to dominate this. But each agent individually can. But same what Debbie said is it's a cold lead. The amount of time and money that you spend on online leads, I would give you a lot better use of that money and time with warm leads, people, referrals, getting into your community, going door to door, visiting other businesses around your area or your farming area. It's just that some agents don't want to put in the time or the patience to wait to those seeds pay off, so to say, when planting those seeds, because they feel that the online leads, people are looking now, but really they're not. A lot of people, average national average is, I think, 3 to 6 months. So even though you see someone that you might get a lead online, those people you still got to follow up on. They're not going to say, okay, let's go see a house tomorrow and buy that house tomorrow. That's like winning the lottery. These people are just starting to look and want to know information, and then 3 to 6 months from now, follow up, but all the time and effort. And then national averages too, is 3 to 5% at the most. 5% most online leads pan out. And so you have to talk to 95 out of 100 people. You got to follow up with people to hopefully 5 will turn into something. That's a lot of work.
That is,
Right,
yes, and those are good numbers right there too. I don't have those numbers on my next slide, but those are perfect numbers. So
Go ahead.
still skeptical, still don't believe us. Here's some numbers, right? So he already started to tell you what the numbers were. I got these numbers from Brian Buffini. So these are numbers from now, 2023, right? And 2% of the sales are made in the first contact, which is kind of exactly what he just said. Very rarely is it going to happen as soon as you talk to somebody. You know, we have to make sure that we are keeping in touch with people. 10% of the sales are made from the fourth contact. So you can see the more you talk to people, and this is the same contact, by the way, you know, so you have to talk to them over and over and over again in order to get them to trust you, that you are the person that they want to talk to, or maybe even just get into the right time of their life that they're ready to do it. So they might not be ready right now. There's so many people that I talk to as agents who get online leads, whether it's from any of those things, OJO or OpCity or Realtor.com or Zillow or Rocket Mortgage or any of those things. It doesn't matter who you're buying into, right? But the minute that that person says, I'm not ready to do it right this minute, I have to get pre-approved, or maybe they have to work on their credit, or I'm only interested in this particular property, they give up and they don't keep talking to that person.
Exactly. Right. Same with prospecting people, you know. I know so many times I know agents don't follow up with people for years. They might call them for the first year, a couple months, or maybe once the second year, and then they fall off the planet.
Yeah.
You got to keep following up with people.
Yeah. So the statistics on the right-hand side are talking about what we are just talking about right here. 47% of the salespeople never follow up with a prospect, period. They don't. If you are not contacting them as soon as you get that lead, so maybe you are buying into leads, or you get something from the office or whatever, even if we call you and say, hey, we have someone in your neighborhood that wants to go buy a house. Do you want this lead? And they say yes, but they don't call them until 8 o'clock at night or the next day or whatever, you know, that person has already moved on. They wanted you to talk to them right then, within the first 5 minutes. So if you can't talk to them within the first 5 minutes, you have no business taking that lead, because even if you call them in that first 5 minutes and you get their voicemail, you still touched them.
Yep, I agree with you. All right, next one. Oh,
okay, that's enough for your tough love. If you want some more information about how to do this even better, just contact us. But this is a topic that I've been talking to quite a people about, so I thought maybe we would get on the subject a little bit. Do you have any parting words?
Yeah, no, basically it's as simple and as hard as getting a schedule. Is one, creating a database of people, you know, their name, their address, their phone number, their email address, friending them on social media, and then setting up a schedule of calls, stops, when you're going to visit these people or when you're going to call them, what you're going to say. And then the hardest part for people is referrals, is getting referrals for all these people. Is that you should be using it should be growing like a snowball. Like you start with, like someone goes, well, you got 10 people. Okay, great. Within the first 3 months, grow that to 20 people, because ask everybody for one referral. And then the next month, ask all those 20 people for one more referral. So then you go from 20 people to 40 people. And then it grows. If you're not growing your database, then that's a problem. Sometimes agents, like example, when agents call me and we're talking about prospecting, I called everybody. I go, well, how many people did they give? Why aren't you calling those people? Why aren't you calling the people that they give you? And we'll help you with the scripts and dialogues and things to say to help you get to that next point. So that was my closing discussion.
No, that's very good, because kind of what you said, and I don't know if people actually toned in on this, but you were talking about the stacking effect of talking to somebody, right? So you call them, you text them, you email them. Stacking effect, you contact them in multiple different ways. And we're going to get into that more at a later date. But there's a lot of fun things that we're going to get into anyway in the future, by the way, putting a lot of stuff together. But you contact Tony or myself if you want even more information about those things. But it's all you.
Right.
You have to be the one that's willing to talk to people. Don't be passive. Don't wait for them to call you. You call them. You text them. You send them an email, but you've got to get the information first. And your family will give people's names to you. They
Right.
will. They want you to succeed. And hopefully they have the email address as well. But if they only have a phone number, it's a text message.
That's
Hey,
it.
my cousin Kelly gave me your name. Building my database, would you mind if I had your email address so I can send you some great information about blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't even have to be about real estate. It could be about anything,
Right.
so
Like National Food Bank Day.
about National Food Bank Day. Yep. There's a couple things in here because this is
And then-
important. National Food Bank Day is giving back to your community. And that's one of the ways that you can present yourself as a person of interest in your community, is working with the food bank and other drives that they have and stuff like that. But September 1st is National Food Bank Day. So I'm always a giver for people who are less fortunate. So that's a good thing.
And Cheese Pizza Day. Didn't even know.
Yep. And
it's
then we
a
have
thing.
our everybody's favorite Pizza Day. So September 5th is Cheese Pizza Day. So you could give people a pizza kit where you go and you buy a couple different things and you throw them in a little gift basket, and you present that any way you slice it. Your referrals are number one. There's your tag right there. I mean, you can't get any better than that. That is the cutest thing ever, right? And everybody loves pizza. So.
And some CE in our, of course, our new website, the freeohioce.com, and a lot coming up. And the one thing I need to push, a lot of people have been text or emailing me back about core law. So you haven't seen any of that come up recently, have you?
No, not in any of the boards either, but as soon as we find one, we'll definitely let you know. You can always go to Hondros or McKissock to get your core law if you're getting close to the edge. And Homestar agents, we do have a coupon for Hondros for your CEU. So contact me if you need that.
Great. And I think that's it, right? There we go.
That's it.
All right. Let's see. Stop sharing. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Remember, reach out to Debbie or myself. We'll make some time for you. We'll put you in our schedule. And to agents that want coaching, I have dozens of agents that coach like once a month, once a week, some once a year, but we get on kind of a schedule and I pencil you in. So if you want continual, it's just 10 minutes, nothing long, just a little accountability. So if you want it, I'm here for you. So, all right, that's it. Well, thanks for joining us. Have a great day and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.